What's up, John? Welcome everybody to Apartment Gamer and More. Stoop Brooklyn Nets Stoop Edition. This is your boy Scott Lewis. I'm back. I got a little cold, trying to hang in there, but everything is good. Basketball season is back. We doing our thing now, so everything is looking love. I've been trying to get some content together about what's going on with the team and stuff. But apparently it's like really slow. I mean, as far as the Brooklyn Nets are concerned, we know what to expect. We got some rookies to play. We got interesting lineup coming up this weekend. We playing Israel at the Barclays Center. And I'm looking forward to watching that. I just want to bring up some content that I put in the thumbnail, and let me bring it up. We're going to start with what I considered one of the top things to talk about is Noah Clowney, and I have a feeling that he might be. I hate to use the word dark horse, but he might be the secret weapon that the Nets are looking at as a future player. You know, his skill set will do well on the court. I think looking at him, you could tell he gained some weight or gained some muscle. There's a difference between gaining weight and gaining muscle. I mean, even though they have something together, but you also gain some strength, which is important for. So he looked much more fulled out and looking ready for the season. And I'm dying to see how his gameplay materialize this season. I have this great feeling that it's going to be a good season for him, and I could see him being a major piece in what we need. What the Nets need in the future. Let me bring this stuff up. Okay, I'm gonna share this. Okay, I'm gonna go like this. Add John. Add to scene. And let's bring this up. Hey, what's up, John?
You hear me, Scott?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, we
Uh,
good, we good.
we good. Yeah, how you been, man?
Been all right, ready for some Brooklyn basketball tomorrow just to see what this iteration of this team looks like. Hope to see the young guys play some good minutes. Looks like Yegor's.
Oh, he keep dropping out. Oh man, that's terrible. His connection keep dropping out. But anyway, I'll pull him back up when he get his stuff together. Former Alabama forward, and this is coming from Alabama newspaper. Former Alabama forward, looking like a grown man for the Brooklyn Nets. He has it's his time. I know quite a few people wish him well from Alabama. He was well liked there. Um, we'll see. I mean, I have a good feeling about Noah Clowney this year. We're gonna see his development as he grow, and I don't think his skill set was a bad thing. He shot well. He got great form, got great height, and the key thing was his development as he make improvements. Down in the block, a lot of people try to force him out and push him around. This is the year that he can show that he made steps, and I could see him being a key contributor for the Nets in the future. I could see that really, really soon. So we'll see. Um, According to them, and I'm reading off of this website, is Noah Clowney left Alabama as the 21st pick of the 23 NBA draft, has listed height and weight of 6 feet 10, 11, 210 pounds. At the opening of his third training camp with NBA Nets this week, Clowney is still listed at 6'10", but he's now weighed at 234. So he put on 24 pounds with 10 or so of those pounds added this summer. So apparently, when you look at Clowney, he definitely bulked up, and you can see it on his shoulders and everything that he has put on a little weight, which is, I mean, as long as it's muscle, it's fine. I don't want him to put on weight. He's just turned 21. Nets coach Jordy Fernandez said at this training camp press conference on Monday, it was past Monday, and he said, I don't know if this guy knows, but going into the third NBA season with all the experience, or experience he has, and as a young as he is, and now he looks like a grown man. He is a person that we trust. We trust in his work ethic, his commitment, how his body looks right now, how his shot looks right now. So even when looking at some tapes and some film of him shooting, you can tell he's going to put up numbers. He has improved, and don't be surprised that he be like a really important player on this team. It's very much possible. John, you there?
Yeah, who are you talking to about, Scott?
Noah Clowney.
Yeah, listen, Noah Clowney looks he looks like a freaking grown man. He bulked up to 234. Like there's definitely a lot to be excited about, but he's definitely got to have a chip on his shoulder. I don't know if you saw him practice. He allowed semi-retired Michael Porter Jr. to dunk on him. I'm like, Clowney, come on, bro. Like you got to take some pride this year. You should be dunking on other people, not getting dunked on by people that are like 1 foot out the door. So for Clowney this year, from the jump, he's got to show aggression, aggression, aggression. Now we're getting ticky tack fouls or anything like that, but just dunking a lot more, playing a lot more shot blocking defense
Yeah,
and
going to the rim,
offensively
right?
going against people. Yes, he's
Yeah,
got to be assertive this year, and I think he can do it.
I
It's
think he
just
can do
will
it.
he get the appropriate minutes? I'm totally fine with starting him and Claxton and MPJ in that front court. Let Clowney get the minutes. Let him help boost Claxton's value up, and let's protect MPJ's back. And let's see if Clowney really is a part of our future. I think it's the
Yeah,
best way to go about this right now because Clowney definitely looks like he's in for a year of development, but we just got to see it play out.
yeah. And well, according to what Clowney said, where I want to go to get to 2 feet, being more of an enforcer when I'm driving the ball
Hmm.
rather than trying to go around people, things like that. So he has emphasis to make moves towards the basket, as well as because everybody knew when he came in that he was going to be a shooter from the outside. But what he's been trying to improve is his ability to put the ball on the floor and get to the rim. As a
Right,
rookie, Clowney played 23 games with Brooklyn and 34 with the Team NBA Gladiator League affiliate, the Long Island Nets. For his second year, Clowney spent the entire season with Brooklyn, but he missed 36 games with an ankle injury. So
right.
I'm quite sure he's trying to improve his game, and I think he's going to do it. I really do, because he has the physique to do it. He has the skill set to play an inside. If he can get that inside game, he'll have an inside outside game, which is great. We can use a player like him. his defense might need a little bit of work, but I mean,
All right,
he's got the length and he got the height, so it's not a problem. He can work on that. And I always said defense is a mindset, so
all right.
you know what I'm saying. So
I,
yeah, I'm
I
I'm excited for Clowney.
I'm definitely excited too. I just think he's in position to take that next step of development. First year we saw the defense. Second year we saw the 3-point shooting. Now this year it's put it all together because he already spent all that time in the G League. He's developed physically. I give it to Jordy. I think conditioning is a huge part of his philosophy where he wants all these guys to be in the best condition possible. And you see that with Clowney. Dayron looks like in the best condition of his life. Claxton, much hasn't changed physically, but he looks like he's in much better condition than he was last year. So for these young Flatbush Five we drafted, their conditioning the next 2 years to get to the level where Clown is at is going to be so crucial because if we want to be one of the most physical teams in the NBA, everybody's got to be a lot stronger on the physical end. And for Clowney, we just got to see if the proof is in the pudding this year with him. And I hope they start him because it makes more sense having Clowney start than having him struggle to get minutes off the bench where you're going to see more of that inconsistency. You want Clowney to be able to certify I am the next potential future forward of this team because I have two-way ability. And given the way next year's draft is looking, I mean, Scott, I don't know if you saw Nate Amont somehow skyrocketed to the number one spot over DeBasa and Peterson right now. And that guy is a 6'10 forward who has potential Kevin Durant type ability. So for Clowney, this is a huge year to show that he could be one of our future forwards
Right.
of Brooklyn's future. It's just he's got to show it for a whole 82 games. And I think we will see a lot.
Uh-oh, you went out again. Oh, okay.
Scott, you there?
Yeah, we have. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I was just saying, you definitely got to see a lot more from him on the defensive end, and I think we will see that this year. It's just he's got to show you a complete what he can do completely, and I think he can do it. It's just Jordy's going to have to figure out his minutes on a balanced way.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to watching his gameplay. And yeah, like you said, the draft is really looking hot. You
Whew.
know, it's starting to really percolate there, right? But see now, what it does is it gives you options. You don't have to tank. If the more talent you have, the less you have to tank. Because these
It's
guys, I mean, if you think about it, we're already looking at the top four, the top five right now. The top five right now is decent players. That's the thing I'm trying to say is that they decent players. Not saying that they are superstars, but they should be decent players. What you
Well,
think?
the good thing is, I think we're in a great position to at least be in the bottom three as a team. I mean, if you want to get better than maybe one team like Utah, okay. But for the Nets, if you are the worst team this year, you get a shot at a top five pick. And right now, you look at the Bonsa, Boozer, Peterson, Amont, and Yasafu. Each five of those guys, it was just them in a solo draft. Each one of them has a case to be the top one, but they'll probably be 1 through 5. And if you're in that five echelon, you get a shot at a franchise guy, and that's a special thing about next year's draft, Scott. It's rare where you could say there are potential five guys that could each be number one selections, and they're not going to be number one selections. One of
What?
them will be, and the other four follow right after. Like that's special if you are in the lottery next year. And for the Nets, it's about getting that franchise guy. I think we have building block pieces. I think we have maybe B minus S players potentially in this year's draft, which isn't bad, but you need that one cornerstone guy to bring everything together. And I give this about Jordy. What he is building right now is a team that can play make and play somewhat defense. And if you add that big cornerstone piece, you can make that work. It's just we have to position ourselves.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is true.
Very true.
Yeah, yeah, that is true.
Right. So, but I agree with you too, Scott. We want to show some growth this year, and I think these guys are all going to fight for something. It's just Jordy has to prioritize the young guys over the vets. Market the vets to get the trade values up, but don't play them into fourth quarters. The problem last year was, Scott, we played the vets in those fourth quarters, and we won games that maybe we didn't have to win. But that was what Jordy wanted to do. For this year, it's like let it be about the young guys. Let them try to win those fourth quarter games. Don't rely on the vets to carry you to wins that may screw you over in the end if you miss out on your guy that you want.
Right, right.
That's what we got to see differently this year. But I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but it's like there has to be strategy this year. I want the young guys to shine, but you don't want the vets to win you games, and then they're out the door next year going to a championship team. How does that feel? I want to ask people that are all about the pride and all that's like, how does it feel for these other guys like Cam Johnson to go to the
Oh, we lost John again. We got Breezy here. What's up,
yeah
Breezy?
and
Yo, what up, Scott?
How you
hey
been,
Bruce.
man?
Yo, what would you was asking me? What?
No, I said how you been.
Oh, no, I've been chilling, man. You know what I'm saying? I see Nets content creators stepping up. I see you doing a live. I see BK Nothing But Nets. They did a live earlier. You know what I'm saying? I got a live coming soon. I just feel like the fan base is growing, so it's good. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you for doing the show, for
Yeah,
sure.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're talking a little bit about how the future of some players, Noah Clowney,
Yeah,
and what we look forward to. I honestly was telling John that Noah Clowney is made leaps and bounds in the way he looked, and I
right.
think he might make an actual run at being a substantial piece in what the Brooklyn Nets need in the future. What you think?
I agree with you. I think he put on the weight because he knows the pressure of the rookies coming in this year. You see first, you see if you're a player, you see that all that draft class. You gotta, Wolves is coming for your spot. You gotta
Right.
feel that. You gotta feel like, all right, well, I need to do something drastic. And to me, him putting on the weight and the muscle, again, a lot of great players do that to go to the next level. I think that's one of the things that you have to do in as a professional to go to the next level. Whether it be Chauncey Billups, of course you got Jordan, Kobe, but you got other players that got bigger. They were talented, but they got bigger, and that was the part of the reason why they were good. Even Baron Davis. You know what I'm saying? I'm just mentioning players and that being a thing that they do to become better. And I say the same for Noah Clowney. Noah Clowney had the opportunity to stretch the floor. I think they're going to give him more of that opportunity, and I think he showed improvement from the G League to the pros to the Brooklyn Nets,
Yes, he
and I
did.
think we want to do the same thing with Wolf, the same thing with these players because they feel like they got a good system with that. I think they
Right.
feel like a good system with making the players good with the Long Island Nets and then bringing them up, and I think we're going to see more of that. And because of that, Scott, I
Yeah.
think North County is going to get big minutes. I'm talking 25 to 30 minutes a game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see that. I see him getting big minutes to prove, show his game skill, his skill level. I'm honestly, I have great faith in him because from what I hear and read about his work ethic off the in the off season, he has improved immensely in his shooting ability. But not only that, him putting the ball on the floor and driving to the basket was one of his key things that he wanted to improve. And
Right.
I think this is going to be dynamite for him and for the Nets.
Let's
Yeah.
hope so. I think he can do it. I mean, he's made the physical adjustments. Now it's just Jordy set him up for success. Make sure to initiate him in these plays, and like you said, Scott, get to the rim more. If he does that, I think it's going to be great for the Nets. And given the fact that Whitehead and Wilson look like they could potentially be out this team, having Clowney be that breakout guy from that draft class kind of gives Marks a little justification because that draft class that he did is looking really pathetic right now. So I really think Clowney could be that success that they were hoping for 2 years ago when they drafted him. It's just, can he become that ultimate two-way weapon? I think he's about halfway there. It's just putting the other half of the puzzle together for him.
Right, right,
Right. That's the same thing I was saying with John, but in other words, like just because these new players here, they shouldn't push Cam Thomas out. They
right,
should find a medium. You know what I'm saying? It should
right,
be a situation where Drake Powell and Cam Thomas could be on the same team. Like Drake
right.
Powell is not that phenomenal of a player where he just taking Cam Thomas' spot. We're not
Yeah,
replacing Cam Thomas with any of these draft picks when you think about points. When you think about the draft class just now that just happened, are any of these players going to be putting up points like that? I think so. But we still talking about a generational draft class. I'm saying the bar is high with Cam Thomas. Don't pay attention to that 27th pick. Pay attention to if he could work with these players, I this is where me and John disagree.
Right.
I believe you implement Cam Thomas, whoever we draft next season.
Right.
I don't put Cam Thomas in a situation where he has to be the focal point or we lose. I
Right.
put Cam Thomas in a situation like I'm gonna get you help. You're already a elite scorer. You don't have to be this two-way player. Every player that's running a team isn't a two-way player. Yeah, you could say Giannis is. Yeah, you could say, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Ant-Man is. But, Jokic ain't. You know what I mean? His offense carries. I'm not saying he a bad defender, but he's not necessarily considered a two-way player. You add Cam Thomas to that mix with whoever we draft, whether it be Darren Peterson or whoever. Darren Peterson, y'all already say he a point guard, so
Right.
let him play point guard. Everybody telling the truth. If this, they're not sold on Yegor, Nolan, Kobe, Buffkin. We don't know what point guard we gonna have. Ben Saraf.
Yeah,
That's the
it's a
priority that the Nets
It's
want to get right.
it's a cobble pot right now, and I keep telling you this, Breeze, that the month of November is huge for Cam Thomas as far as his value and what he can really show, because we do want to see him play his game. At the same time, we want the other pieces to work with him, and I don't think you have to worry about Drake Powell right now, Breeze. Everything I'm hearing is that this guy will probably spend a lot of his first season in the G League, and then maybe be brought up towards the middle end of the season. Same with Wolf. I think Terrence Mann is Cam's backup right now, and then some of the other guards are competing for those last minute spots. Kobe Buffkin will probably get the position with Dariq Whitehead. So I think for Cam, the shooting guard is his position right now. It's just seeing how the other pieces can play with him and him vice versa. So that month of November will really tell us what the potential could be there. But then after November, Breeze, it gets tricky because December 15, that's when it becomes trade eligible. And that's when I think you're going to hear rumblings, especially if Cam has a great month in November. And it's not to downgrade Cam, it's just that's when I think things could turn in that whole relationship between Cam and the Brooklyn Nets, because clearly both sides are not in alignment on a long term thing right now. That's all I'm really just trying to get with you about that on
Yeah,
my
no,
end.
I get it, but at the end of the day, they still got to play basketball, and all
Right.
that's going to be contingent. You got to realize the fan support that Cam Thomas is going to get if he does play well, if he does have a situation where he is the number one option, because you got MPJ saying, you know what I'm saying, his body different now. You feel what I mean? With Cam, it's
Mm,
just, you know what I mean. They going to Cam Thomas in the fourth quarter. And again, like I said, these players becoming savvy on the business side is a good thing, not a bad thing. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not
right.
mad at him for what he did. I don't think he put himself in a situation and on social media where he outed the Brooklyn Nets or outed Sean Marks. He said what he said, but it was all professional, under a professional, you know what I'm saying, tone. It
yeah.
wasn't, as much as people want to paint it to be ugly. The words that Cam Thomas said about the Brooklyn Nets and about Sean Marks, none of them were offensive. They asked him questions on media day. He didn't burn no bridges with the Brooklyn Nets. This is just being shrewd with business, and every player has the right to do that. That's a fact. Every player has the right to do that. And far as what franchises put players through, they put Cam Thomas through a lot. They put Cam Thomas through whatever. We could just skip the opinion. The three different coaches, bro.
Yeah.
Shot on Steve Nash and now
Jordy Fernandez.
Tony Fernandez.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it's
imagine
difficult.
you putting up how look at all of the stuff that's changing. Same thing with Clax. Look at all of the stuff that's changing. You
Yeah.
gotta respect the player that's going through all of that. All of those different lineups, rotations, different changes. They being professional the entire time. They ain't kicking them no dust. They handling questions the way they supposed to. They handling the New York media the way they supposed to.
Right.
They built for this. As much as we say about Clax and this and that, Clax and Cam Thomas is built for this city. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
yeah, yeah. Sure enough. I, you
It'll,
know, I, honestly speaking, I think that Cam got a bad rap, and he came in a situation where the Nets wanted to rebuild or in transition from losing three superstars, and in his rookie season as well as his second year, where and the coaching and the chaos that came around Brooklyn with all the things with Kyrie Irving and stuff like that, it didn't make it better for his advancement as far as a player. It didn't help
No,
at all.
you're right, Scott. They listen. At the end of the day, you've heard me say this multiple times, different podcasts and on Twitter. This organization's hands were definitely not clean in Cam Thomas's development being subpar as it's been so far because the organization didn't know what the hell we were doing the last few years. But I
Yeah.
think the NBA took it a step forward because now they're evolving away from one-dimensional scorers and they're saying we want tall guys who are athletic, who could play multi-defense and positionless basketball. With Sean Marks on the podcast, he surprised us all going on. He said we're entering positionless basketball for Brooklyn. So it's like the NBA is going after guys like Cam because they think his skill set will not translate to being a winning team eventually. And that's I can't fully put it all on Sean and Joe's heads, but they're agreeing with that. So it's like they're seeing what the NBA is seeing, and it's unfortunate, Breeze, but the NBA wants to do this whole Euro thing now. We're seeing it with the Euro leagues being
Bro,
built,
like,
with the
but
world
it's like,
versus the West versus the world and all that. It's like
but
they're the ones doing this, Breeze. Like at the end
listen,
of the day, even if we don't disagree
but
about Cam and what his skill
nah,
set
we
is.
disagree because they saying that Trey Johnson is a scorer like the way Cam Thomas was. So
Mhm.
to say that the NBA is transitioning, yeah, I hear what y'all saying, but it's becoming a narrative. The NBA will always and forever in the top lottery picks, whether it be 1 through 3, 1 through 5, or just number one. The reason why they are number one is mainly because of their scoring. It ain't the other things. And that's what my show is going to be about. It ain't the other things. Y'all talk all of this. Yo, yeah, Cooper and all of them, yeah, they could do other things. Trey Johnson, they known for scoring. If they wasn't scoring the ball the way they were scoring the ball and they was averaging 8, 9 points, no, they would not be no number top 5 pick. They would not. Scoring always going to matter. As much as y'all want to make the other things more important than scoring, it's not. If you put the scoring on the scale and you put the other things on the scale, bro, yeah, there's a medium, but the name of the game is to score the ball. You cannot score points off of the other things. You have to score the ball. The market will always and forever need a scorer. The narrative of a player not being needed by the NBA because they're a scorer is a narrative that y'all gonna see change. Shea would not be the MVP if he wasn't doing what he was doing. Jokic wouldn't be the MVP. Giannis wouldn't have been the MVP. Jordan wouldn't have had the MVPs. They always went to elite scorers. For us to overlook Cam Thomas because that's all he do and he doesn't do the quote unquote other things is a big mistake. Y'all want to talk about next year draft picks and leading the team and Mikal Bridges and everybody else but Cam Thomas leading the team. And that is a problem. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, what? Don't overlook his talent because for whatever reason. I was a fan of a man different draft picks, not just Cam Thomas, but I'm telling you, I don't hold him back. You gonna don't hold him back. They have a narrative on him about how he can't do this and he can't do that when they the ones slowing, hindering them,
Yeah.
slowing them down. So you
Yeah.
gonna narrative, you slowing them down, and you come on, and he being professional. He's saying, yo, he want the opportunity. He's showing you every way in a professional manner that he wants the opportunity, and they gotta respect.
Well, let me ask you something, Breeze. Do you honestly think on this team that everybody's got pegged to try to get a high draft pick that Cam can actually shine with an organization with a bunch of rookies playing that we know is not going to translate to winning? They're not going to be that great. They're not going to be as good as Cam Thomas. Or
Bruh.
we know that already without even the season starting. So we asking Cam to show his great skill improvement with players that might not even participate in his growth as well.
Listen, I think again, I've seen him as a great teammate next to every teammate he had. So
I did too. I don't
I
know
seen
what
him
people
play. He
seen.
played good next to every teammate that we had on this team. He was good next to them.
Yep.
Like, bro, they double KD and KD had to pass it to Cam Thomas, and Cam Thomas hit a game winner over the Spurs. Like, what more you want from this dude, man?
Yeah,
Like,
game winners
are we
over
gonna
the
hear those
Knicks too.
stories? That's what I'm saying. If there's gonna be situations where they're gonna double Cam Thomas and he's gonna have to pass it to Diego or somebody, I want to see them have a game winner the same way Cam Thomas had a game winner when he had KD off of that pass. That's what I'm saying. He set the bar. I
Yeah,
keep yo,
the bar
they
is
let
high.
me see them do the same thing that he did. I keep talking, yo. I'm telling you, do not overlook his talent. That's all I ask, please.
Breezy,
Do not
I
overlook
definitely
his
don't
talent.
disagree that he's not a bad teammate. He definitely had himself well so far, given how he could have buried Sean Marks even more than he already is. I just think the NBA and him, they're looking at the three biggest weaknesses of Cam Thomas: the height factor, the lack of defense, athleticism. If Cam had all three of those abilities, Breeze, I'm saying this right now, he's probably a top 20 in the NBA, no doubt. I mean,
So,
Scott, you don't have a problem with that,
so
Scott. Breezy, you clearly don't. Like, if he had those three factors, Cam's looking at the money that he wants, but because he doesn't have those things, Marks is hoarding that money, waiting for somebody else in next year's draft
This
or
ain't
free
about the
agency
money. This
or
is
trade
about the
market to make that move.
opportunity. This
No,
about the
I
opportunity.
agree with
They
you,
give
Breeze.
Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson over him. They give him, bro. None of these players besides KD, Kyrie, and Harden deserve to be the number one option over Cam Thomas. That's a fact. Like at the end of the day, for them to stall on that, yo, again, like I ain't gonna be long with it. I just wanted to show pull up, you know what I'm saying, and say this. But again, all I'm saying is Cam Thomas should be woven into what the Brooklyn Nets are doing, opposed to keeping him on his heels about what's the next move. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not overlooking the opportunity he should have been had. That's all I'm saying. And I want to see him play with whoever we draft next season. And I want to see him play with who we draft this season. That's what I'm saying. I want to see, I don't want to overlook his potential. Nah, that and my net fan so won't allow it. I will not allow y'all to go on these podcasts and act like y'all don't remember that Big Fan Breezy pulled up and say, don't overlook Cam Thomas' talent. Don't do it. Pay attention to, like you say, yeah, it's important. All of it's important. Again, man, I'm just anxious. I'm a net fan. We all happy that we got a game on Saturday. I think we win. And you know what I'm saying? I'm in the chat. But I think Scott, John, I
yeah.
think it's a win. We should go in there
Hmm.
and it should be an easy win. I don't
Yeah,
want to
that's
see
gonna be.
no excited basketball. I want to see pure Brooklyn Nets domination. Facts.
Let's
Like,
go.
like
I just want
yo,
to see what the game plan is with how he's going to play these guys. That to me, the
I don't think
I want to see how they're going to play these guys.
yeah,
nah,
yeah,
they gotta whoop their ass, man.
I don't think the starters or the non rookies are going to get that much minutes in the game. That's what I think.
Well,
I think the
Jaeger is not play. Jaeger and Powell definitely aren't playing, so those two. I think Nolan Trayor, he's somebody I'm definitely looking at for tomorrow's game. How does Nolan control the pace of flow? Because it really is his opportunity. I'd be surprised if Seraph is starting over Nolan. I think Nolan has that experience as well as Seraph does, and he's an exciting scorer. He just needs to have more of a consistent offense. I want to see what Nolan can do tomorrow. Really, I think Seraph, if you could show me what all this hype is about that's been built around the last 2 weeks, okay. But I'm looking at Nolan and Danny Wolf as well. Can you show me physicality? Can you show me some defense? Like, I got to see Wolf and Nolan step up tomorrow. So, Raph, if he shows me something impressive, I'll give him his props. But Nolan and Wolf, I hope they get some minutes tomorrow because we got to see what they're about. That's what I got to see.
Yeah,
mm,
I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game. But yeah, I just wanted to pull up, man. Shout to John, man. This ain't over, man. Shout to
yeah.
Scott. Shout to, you know what I
You
mean?
know I
Shout out
like
to
a good
you.
debate, Breeze. You know I like a good debate, man.
Yeah, of course, of course. Shout to Scott, you know what I'm saying? Subscribe to his page. Next fans is the best fans. I'm in the chat. I'm gonna be in the chat, y'all.
Okay, all
Have a
right.
good one, man. Have a good one, Breeze.
Or thanks, you too, John.
Yeah, John. Yeah, so my personal thing is, and I wanted to bring up one thing too.
Hmm.
Let me bring something up that I was looking at. Let me see if I can bring it up. And this was important because I thought this had a lot to do with what you were saying that they want to do. which is the Nets wanted to, and the Nets are, and this is on Yahoo Sports,
Mm-hmm.
where the Nets talked about they Nets gained the fourth most roster value, and how that translate for the Nets' future is being that you the Brooklyn Nets had plenty of moves. I'm gonna just read a little bit of this. All season they prepare for 2020-25 sixth season. They have hopeful franchise and fans. Some are looking, but the Nets were bad last season as far as most teams, winning only 26 games. Their fewest since 2016-2017. They will likely be bad again. This is the projection of what the league thinks.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also important to remember why they did what they did as far as the roster moves. The purpose of the pieces and explain that Brooklyn gained fourth most roster value in the league over the course of the 2025 season, even though the fact may not show up in the win column. So even if they having a losing season, because of the moves they making, the expiring contracts, opening up spots, not signing people like Cam Thomas, this this gives them the space they need in the future. Apparently, Sean is looking at the next year and the year after, even even more for a superstar, which is
Right.
the same thing that you were saying a long time ago. That
Yep.
he's
I said
looking.
it, and I was right.
So that's the purpose of him doing what they doing. For the Nets, they added four players with a positive WAR, or what they call WAR is it's like when you build worth over value. And
Right.
Porter 5.6, Hayward 1.7, Terrence Mann 1.5, and the rookie guard Igor Demand zero point 0.6. With the top losses of forward Cam Thomas and D'Angelo Russell, ultimately Brooklyn is expected to be one of the worst teams in the league during the upcoming season, but they also added plenty of value over the course of this offseason at the same time. So what they're saying is, and it's interesting when you look at it, wins are above replacement, they call it, which is
Mm-hmm.
a way of how GMs look at when they draft people with expiring contracts. So this is I mean, it's a big deal. It's unfortunate for Cam Thomas because they still in the rebuild mode. They're all in, and they're
Right.
looking for that superstar. Even if Cam Thomas shows anything, it's not going to translate into wins. So is the fans going to be able to see the difference between the two? Are we going to really notice what Cam is doing instead of looking at the scoreboard?
Yeah, great question, Scott. You really got to see how October and November play out because that's really Cam's chance to really show if there is a 5% chance of saving a relationship that looks doomed to break up, or this really raises value up and Mark's getting a lot of phone calls. Because I mean, if you could get a 20-point bucket score and Cam Thomas making $6 million to help you win a potential championship, I mean, I'd be surprised if not a lot of teams want to come calling him because they should. I mean, Cam Thomas is a bucket scorer. No matter what people say about him, this guy makes it every year as he progresses. He makes it easier to score every time around. Even though the double teams have been hurting him, he's still showing you he can score at the end of the day. I just think for the Brooklyn Nets right now, like you said, Scott, we have the cap space flexibility with Sean Marks confirmed. He's not willing to spend right now unless it's in the best interest of the Nets collecting more assets or going big game hunting, which can happen as soon as next summer because that's really the end of this rebuild stuff because the Nets don't have control of their own pick going forward. So if the Flatbush Five develop okay this year or good, and then you get a top franchise guy in the draft in the top five bracket spot, you could really make a big game move if there's a star that wants to come to a team that has the assets we're talking about, Scott. Because like you said, it's not going to show up in the win column right now. but we do have the cap space flexibility, all the draft capital in the world, and we do have some young pieces that you can surround a star with. I just told you the two main things Jordy has right now are playmaking and the potentiality of a strong defensive team, which is going to need a lot of work, of course, but you have those two elements, pair that around a star player, it's something to work with. Is it perfect? No, but it gives you the basis of something. And I really think after this year, next summer, it could be one of the biggest ones for the Brooklyn Nets yet because you could potentially line yourself up for franchise guy. And then you have cap space flexibility and you have all 30 picks. And after next year's trade deadline, the Nets might add more capital to what they already have. So I think the Nets are in a prime position.
Yeah, they definitely in a prime position.
Like that. I think that's where the Brooklyn Nets are, and I think they're in a good position with the flexibility and the assets. It's just they got to strike when the right time presents itself, which could be soon. And I think that's a good position for the Nets. But we still just got to see how the Flatbush Five develops because they're going to play an integral role in making a pitch for why a star should come to Brooklyn in the future. Because you can't do it without a buy-in, and we got to see if these players we have now are willing to buy into the process for the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, what do you think about Derek Whitehead and his future? Because I'm going to bring up another thing that I should have brought up before, which is let me see if I can bring it up. Is Derek Whitehead, according to the New York Post, and we're going to bring this up. Derek Whitehead is short on time and the opportunity to improve to prove himself to the Nets. Well, he probably need to prove himself to the league. He need to try to have a decent start in the year, in the beginning of the year. But let me read a little bit of this. After injury, Whitehead is going into the third season, still looking for a foothold in the league and facing the only pivotal training camp, but a number of coaches at his position. He's from Newark. A Newark native is still just 21. And this is a quote from Derek Whitehead. For me, I feel like this was honestly my most important summer. Whitehead said heading into training camp. It's clear that it is very important for him to show. And
Most definitely.
whether he be with the Nets or not, it's still this is going to be pivotal for him to even stay in the league. So I wish him. I hope this worked. Not being able to do what I had needed to do. Um, Let me see. Not being able to do what I needed to do the past 3 summers, and it didn't seem like he'd been here 3 years, but he has. Being able to work out, work on my body, just the difference I felt from the last game of last season to now is just being able to trust my body, how comfortable I am, and just handling things that I've done before is just right. It's just night and day. So injury has robbed much of Whitehead's explosion and stunted his career. I it's this is a tough time to be trying to rebuild with the Nets because the Nets right now are not in that position to make any significant changes or waiting on somebody to grow. Well, they actually have time for him, but whether it happens, I don't know. What you think, John?
Yeah, listen, Derek is just on the bubble right now. He's only played like I think less than 20 games in his first 2 years, and then you have Tyrese Martin, who's getting a lot of rave reviews. That's Ice's guy, and he had that big 30-point performance against the Suns. Then was kind of steady Eddie the rest of the way, but he's getting a lot of rave reviews, and he's 26 years old, so he's not necessarily a young guy, but he does have some experience under his belt, which I think Jordy likes, and I think that hurts Derek Whitehead because he hasn't really played much the last 2 years, which you just said, and we've seen it. His athleticism isn't there right now. He could shoot threes, but it's like coming from a guy who was of attention. to being taken by the Nets in the top 20, like he's definitely has a lot to fight for right now. And I just think time is not on his side right now. So yeah, that's definitely something that is hurting Whitehead right now. And then you have Kobe Buffkin, who we didn't know the Nets were going to go after until they did, and he's also fighting with Whitehead for the pretty much the same spot on the team. So yeah, I think just Whitehead has a lot going against him, and he needs to pretty much have a perfect summer, well, not summer anymore, perfect training camp to just validate why he should still be on this team. He has till the end of October when his contract is guaranteed. But if Tyrese Martin and Kobe Buffkin outshine him in these four preseason games, I think it's going to be hard to see Whitehead make the roster. Now, if he does, that's just because they still see something in him. But really, this is make or break for him in his future with the Nets. I'm not going to say his future with the NBA because probably a team might take a flyer on him. But for him, as far as being a Brooklyn Net goes, yeah, Scott, time is running out for Whitehead, especially with Tyrese Martin stepping up and Kobe Buffkin being hungry for the spot right now. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Whitehead can do these next few weeks. But he's pretty much got to be perfect, or I think he's out the door, unfortunately. And that is
Yeah.
something Sean Marks will have to admit and live with.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have problems.
Yes. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see with Whitehead right now. And then Drew Timmy and Wilson, those two guys are also on the bubble right now. Their contracts aren't guaranteed, so you could see either both those guys may be out in the next few weeks, especially if they choose to keep Martin and Whitehead. Let's say hypothetically. So it's really two of those four potentially going, or all four going. It depends on if the Nets can make the roster space for one of those guys if they want to keep them, but yeah, it's going to be a fight between the four of those guys just to stay on the team. But that's
Yeah.
how you find out who the next Brooklyn Net is. So I welcome it. I just hope these guys really take advantage of the opportunity because we don't want floaters on this team. We want thrivers.
Right. Exactly.
That's actually
I
good. That's actually good. We don't want floaters. We want thrivers. That should be our Brooklyn motto. It should be. You hear that,
I
MPJ?
yeah. I watched Iceman's video. He made a short about um um Kobe Buffkin, and Kobe looked really sharp. And that's another person that might be in the future for our team. Yeah, I
Right.
mean, but this is the question I ask myself, and I think a lot of fans ask is why you got all these guards, man. If you got Kobe Buffkin and he comes out looking sharp, I mean he make good trade piece. But I mean, if the rookies that you betting on doesn't materialize, what are you going to trade them?
No, it's a good question, Scott. I just think for the Brooklyn Nets right now, you look at it, Whitehead and Wilson haven't stepped up to the plate. Cam Thomas could potentially be out the door in a few months, so it's like they had to get options. I like Leaf said, you throw stuff against the wall, you hope it sticks, and that's what we're doing right now. And I hopefully we can find who our future point guard and our future scoring guard is, because right now it feels like it's a competition for every bit of that, and especially if Cam depending on where his future is after December 15th, if he's still on this team or not. So I guess you want to have backups just in case those big decisions get made. And hopefully those guys seize those opportunities because we do want to figure out who could potentially be our point guard of the future and who's our scoring guard of the future. Like that backcourt will be essential, Scott. I understand Sean Marks wants positionless basketball, but you need guys in those set positions as well to man those corners, or else what are you doing? Like I feel
Yeah,
like Marks did this to just kind of see who could be the future point guard and scoring guard. As far as next year's draft goes, then that becomes a potential. So like a lot could happen this year. Like Leaf said, let's look internally for 82 games, see who steps up, who doesn't, who gets cut, and who rises above the field. Like it really is an open competition for everybody on this team. I just hope that we find the pieces to help make this puzzle balanced eventually. Because, like you said, Scott, having nine guards doesn't make a lot of sense unless you're preparing for the fact that a few of these guards aren't long term fits, and that's why you have guys backing them up in case they become those short term or long term fits themselves. It's
yeah,
just I hope we could level down the playing field and figure that out. Maybe if not this year, then next year at the latest, depending on where we fall in that draft. But yeah, I just think Whitehead and Wilson didn't step up to the plate, and Cam Thomas' future past December 15 is an unknown, or it is known because we kind of feel like he will get traded at that point. So yeah, it's like you got to be ready for the opportunity because a good amount of these guys may not be here after before the season starts and after the trade deadline, Scott. So
Yeah,
you just got
yeah,
to be ready for your opportunity, seize it, and hope you hold on to it because it's about finding the next Brooklyn net. We don't want floaters. We want thrivers. I'm gonna
right.
keep that. I got copyright on that now.
Yeah, you got copyright on that. All right. Yeah, so yeah, this is going to be an interesting. They play tomorrow at what time is the game? I think
The
it's
game is at 8 o'clock, I believe. It's at
eight
8.
8 at night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at the Barclay. So I was checking out the tickets. The tickets are reasonable, of course, because it's preseason. Uh, maybe everybody. I might go down and stand in front of the. I might not go in. I might go down and take some pictures of some net fans and ask questions.
You can have your photo lens ready, though, Scott, to get some
Yeah,
snapshots.
yeah, yeah,
Opening preseason night.
yeah. I might do that. But that being said, I'm gonna get ready to get it off, John, and thank you
Good
for
show, Scott.
joining.
No
Thank you for
problem.
joining me. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Tonight, the Suns play. I think the Lakers. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but no Luca LeBron.
Yeah,
Apparently
of
LeBron's
course.
got a glute issue, and Luca's got a, I guess, conditioning issue. No.
Yeah, yeah. But we get a chance to see rookies on the other teams. That's why I've been watching kind of a little bit of the game because other than the Knicks, because the Knicks don't really have that many rookies. They got a team full of vets.
Right. And the preseason is about the young guys. Then on my note, listen, we've finally been through what has been a long, wild summer of what ifs with this team. We thought the Brooklyn Nets had a game plan. The game plan is more of a mystery than a set answer, but we get to see some basketball the next 2 weeks before the regular season begins. And preseason for these young guys, crucial as far as getting their feet wet. And for some of the guys on this team trying to get those last roster spots, it's your opportunity to fight for it. Don't blow it. Like this is going to be an important few preseason games where preseason games are usually for the guys on the Brooklyn Nets, these preseason games are important. So let's figure out who the next Brooklyn Net could be on this team. And I can't wait till that first game where we can just see what the Flatbush Five is all about. I know not all of them are going to play main minutes, but I hope throughout this 82 games, each of them get time to shine because our future really is tied into the success of the Flatbush Five and how Jordy balances out the vets and the young guys. What he does is 82 games with how he balanced out the minutes will play a huge part in where we are in the lottery standings. And I just hope we can win in a little bit of each area that we want, Scott. With you getting some prideful wins, of course, to build up the young guys, to build up their confidence. But for us to set ourselves up greatly for next summer to get a top pick and maybe add some great vets to this team or go big game hunting if the opportunity presents itself. I really think if the Nets could be committed to a game plan for 82 games this year, we really do set ourselves up to be a solid potential team in the next.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but for these 82 games, let's just stick to a game plan. Let the young guys shine, and we'll just leave it all out there for these 82 games. I know Jordy is going to want everybody playing their butt off, and hopefully, these guys do shine, and we still represent Brooklyn proudly. It's just it'll be interesting to see where we are at the end of next year, and hopefully in a good spot to start making those big moves because Brooklyn, every NBA sports is better when a team like Brooklyn is playing winning basketball and having a fun environment for the base to be a part of. Like this right now, Scott, it's not fun. Like you and I, we put on straight faces to try to get all the information down, Pat, but we want to talk about winning basketball
Yeah,
because that's
yeah.
what it really truly is about. But really, I do hope these 82 games we start building a culture, a philosophy, and we really do see what Jordy's made of if he can develop these guys from the ground up. But I look forward to it, Scott. And tomorrow we get some Brooklyn basketball, so I hope the base enjoys. And shout out Brooklyn. Thanks for having me on, Scott.
No problem, no problem. I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank Breezy for showing up. I'd like to thank John for being here
Appreciate it.
and saying what he need to say. I'd like to thank anybody and everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining. Like and subscribe, please. Go Nets. Go Nets.
Go Nets.